Welcome back to You 2.0 Step into Your Greatness with me, Kristin. This show is here to help all women, myself, you, everyone, continue to expand in how we are showing up in our life as well as in the lives of everyone else that we love and care about. I'm really excited for today's episode because it's going to give you a very easy and very tangible process for feeling more connected and feeling more excited about 2022 and all of the things that may have taken place. It's going to be a really easy process that can be applied to in other areas of your life as well. But for the sake of today, we're going to be taking a look at this year as we are approaching the end of it so quickly. First off, though, I just want to talk a little bit about my own pattern and how I've been so much of my life as what most would call a goal-achieving machine. Whether it's my day, my month, or my year, I've always had a tendency of having a huge to-do list. Huge. And feeling really good when I could check the things off that actually took place. As it pertains to my resolutions, though, I typically would look back and see that I hadn't accomplished many of them at all. Maybe a couple of them had happened, but most of them didn't happen. And then I would justify it as it was just too busy. There's too much going on. My children are young. My family needs me. And when I really got honest with myself, and this is what I also have noticed so much in working with my clients, it's very similar, but when you actually go deeper than that, when you really look at what's going on for them, there's a lot of fear there. So whether it's the fear of failure or fear of standing out or fear of looking stupid or silly or being rejected, these things really keep us from making those resolutions or those personal goals for ourselves a reality. It really keeps us from taking action on the things that are important and are meaningful for us. And this is what we work on a lot in the coaching space, but it's what are those limiting beliefs? What is the inner conflict that keeps us from showing up the way that we want to be showing up in our own lives and taking action on the things that are most important? And a lot of us have some really beautiful resolutions. A lot of us really want to start the new year in a really excited way, and we just, go gung-ho into the year. I know this personally from owning a gym, but everyone's got the New Year's resolutions to start going to the gym and working out, and they're going 2 or 3 days a week, and then by February, those excited gym members would totally fall off. Or maybe they'll go once a week, but more often than not, they fall off completely. You go strong for about a month and then it stops. So just know that this is a common patterning for so many of us. This is not just a few deal with this or struggle with this. And that's where I want you to also just have this sense of awareness that this is really common for so many. What are those deeper fears keeping you from accomplishing what you truly want and what you desire or what you're really excited about in your own life? But okay, I don't want to go too deep down that rabbit hole because today's conversation is going to be about this really cool process for looking at 2022. All right? So I call this a AAA process for peace. And we are going to apply this specifically to what has been going on in your year and in your life. The first A in the AAA process is assess. I want you to take a really honest assessment of the year. I want you to assess what things you can feel proud of, what maybe you're excited about, what did happen this year. And I don't know about you, but it is easy to forget things that happened 6, 8, 9, 10 months ago. So for me, a really great process is I actually go back into my phone and I look at my photos. I look at the memories and adventures and fun things that we did as a family or what I was doing and snapping photos of. I love taking pictures. Just what was I capturing? What special moments in my year really pop out at me in a meaningful way? So take inventory now, take assessment. Some of you might keep journals or diaries or have notebooks. Go back to January, February, March, April. Look back over the months. See what pops out at you. Where can you assess some good things really did happen that maybe we forgot about? So easy to forget being this busy, right? So go back and just take assessment at what pops out for you. The next A in the process is acknowledge. I want you to take a minute and just kind of like take a deep breath and acknowledge your part in your assessment. How you played an integral part on what happened, what was so great about your year, what popped out or stood out to you. Acknowledge your role in that. A lot of times we have a tendency to be really hard on ourselves, to beat ourselves up, or to think we didn't do enough or we should have done more. I want you to let that go for a minute. You shouldn't have done anything more. You did exactly what you did, and you did a great job at it. So acknowledge yourself for that instead of being hard on yourself. This is a really, really great practice to get into. I used to do acknowledgements before falling asleep every night because if I wasn't, I was probably being really hard on myself instead. So acknowledging what you did as a part of that process of the thing that happened that was so great in your life. I'm willing to bet that out of your assessments list, if you go back and acknowledge yourself in each of those assessments, that if you weren't a part of that, it wouldn't have happened, or it would have been totally different. But more often than not, the experience wouldn't have even taken place if it wasn't for you. And that's where you can really look at all of the beautiful things you are doing in your life and in your world instead of what you're not doing good enough or what should be different or better. The third A in this process is allow. I want you to allow yourself to feel very present and be very in the moment with what showed up this year, all of it, the good and the bad, and maybe the things you don't prefer as well. Allow these experiences or situations to be as they are. Don't wish them to be different. Anytime that we wish something were different, or we think someone shouldn't have said something that they said, or we think that we're far behind, we're really creating this resistance to what's actually taking place. There is a resistance there. It's this emotional connection or tie to this thing that it should be different than it is. That resistance doesn't feel good. It actually causes us a lot of stress and anxiety in the chest, that tightness in the chest, not feeling well about where we're at and what we're doing. When we can allow things to be exactly as they are, because they are exactly as they are, there's nothing we can do about that. We have no control over the past, but we can control the present. We can control if we are willing to shift into allowing what has happened to happen and decide how we want to move forward from here. Allowance is huge. Honestly, all the experiences of my life, the ones I don't prefer, the hard or challenging or tough ones, when I look at them now as a learning opportunity or an opportunity to gain a new and fresh perspective, to learn something I didn't know before, to shift how I might handle it next time or feel about it next time because now I know what I know. I wouldn't have known if that experience didn't happen. I can feel so much more calm and peaceful in the process of my life and how I perceive the experiences of my life. It makes a complete and total difference. So, to just recap, the 3 A's of the AAA process are assessing what you can feel good about this year, acknowledging how your integral part, your role, you, this amazing woman listening to this video right now with me, you are the reason that thing happened. Because without you, it wouldn't have. And that is such an amazing thing. And then where you can incorporate more allowing into your own life and release the resistance. Let go of the emotional attachments of the past that are not serving you. For some of you, this could have been several years ago. This might not be just this year. Think about that. Where are you still bringing resistance into your day-to-day life through an attachment to the past that doesn't feel good? Something you are still holding on to that is not serving you, and it's not helping you feel calm and peaceful at all. It's doing quite the opposite. So where can you find allowance or peace in that experience? and let it be as it is so you can move forward into 2023 without the attachments, without feeling discontentment or frustration, and allow yourself to move forward in a powerful way. Thank you for being here. I gave you a lot to kind of write about, journal about, process, think about. Know that once we start really tuning into these concepts and ideas, the things that I'll be teaching in these shows, once you kind of tune in and tap into this and just allow it to be as it needs to be, your brain is going to start changing. Your brain is actually going to start finding experiences, situations that align with a lot of the topics that we're talking about or we share, or what we're really tuned into at that moment in time. Your brain is starting to change. It's changing all the time. It's just we want it to change in a meaningful way that aligns with the life we want to create, how we want to be showing up in a meaningful way for ourselves and for others. So if you're anything like me, you might be a bit of a visual learner. That's a wonderful thing. But for some of us, we just need to write it out and see it or read it back to ourselves. For me, the process of writing it is so much more powerful than just seeing it and reading it. So writing it out, being really honest with where I'm at, taking my assessments, doing my acknowledgments for each of those assessments, and then looking honestly at where I can be allowing more instead of resisting the things of the past and the things that showed up this year. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing you again. Happy New Year to you all. I look forward to our next conversation. Bye-bye.